Our data set is based on AFTA's behavior in classroom. So analyzing the AFTA's behavior of students in elementary school classrooms is pivotal for addressing the challenges posed by changing educational landscapes. So the data set under security focuses on identifying specific AFTA's behavior, their proficiency and duration, as well as exploring correlations with the learning outcomes. So the paramount goal is to develop the effective strategies that enhance student engagement and sustain attendance. Then this analyzing recognizes the nature of the issue by considering environmental factors and classroom dynamics. Proposed strategies encompass teacher training, incorporating technology, personalized learning approaches, and positive reinforcement. Coming to the motivation, the issue of AFTA's conduct in classroom poses a serious impediment of effective learning, significantly impacting both individual students' performance and the overall classroom environment. The challenge lies in the difficulty of providing quality education caused by AFTA's behavior. This issue not only hampers the learning focus but also creates a formidable challenge for educators and policymakers striving to enhance classroom engagement and educational outcomes. The outcomes of the project are particularly beneficial for primary school teachers, school administrators, and policymakers as they provide valuable insights into the nature or privilege of AFTA's behavior. By conducting a survey focused on AFTA's behavior, the project aims to diversity techniques for improving classroom attendance and refine institutional methods. The indirect impact on pupils is noteworthy as mitigating off-task conduct contributes to fostering a more conductive and focused atmosphere in the classroom. We have used the pandas profile tool to get an overview of the dataset. So we can see that no variables, no observations, and types of variables like categorical and numericals are present in the dataset. Now coming to the correlation, there is a considerable association between certain activities and settings as shown in the correlation study of classroom behavior features displayed in the heat map. So interestingly, as grade level rise, fewer fuel group arrangements like carpets and desks are used. There is a significant inverse association between the number of activities and the proficiency of transitions, which suggests more targeted participation. It was discovered that there was a little to no relationship between students' identification and gender and classroom activities, suggesting that other factors play a more significant role in after-task behavior patterns. So the relationship between whole carpet exercises and small group work points to a grade off in institutional strategies. So the results which take into the account how variable classroom characteristics affect student engagement can help guide effects to enhance learning environments. Coming now, Jashwant will continue.
Now coming to key findings, we have done an iterative data cleaning process for the data set, and we have found out now the key finding is that we have removed the outliers that are present in the data set. After finding out the outliers, we have found out that there is a reduction in the data set shape of the data set. It is reduced to 27,271 rows and 15 columns, and also we have downcasted the data types of the columns. Here you guys can see that we have downcasted the data types from, like, for an example, we can say that int 64 to int 32 that are present in dataset, and we have also the dropped unnecessary columns present in the dataset, and we have also renamed the columns for the easier findings and also can be used for the future purposes of the dataset. And here you can see that there is a percentage decrease in the data set after the original row count is of 27,731. After removing the outliers, we can see the new row count of 26,394, and we can see the percentage decrease in the data, which is of 4.82%, and which is more accurate, which is ensured to more accurate analysis. And we have also used a shared conditioning to find out the outliers. In the beginning of the data set, it is around 27,731 rows and 15 columns. We have reduced the data set to 27,251 rows after filtering the entire total times equals 0, suggesting that there are 251 occurrences where total time was reported as 0. And coming to observation number, the dataset contains 341 rows, which is larger than entire time. Here we can see that the observation number was greater than the entire time recorded in the 341 occurrences. And coming to visualization of data, we have used various visualization methods for this dataset. We have used histograms, bar plots, bar chart, box plots, line plots, heat map, pie charts, and violin plots. And we have also used pair plots to provide multi-phased view of classroom related to off-task behavior. Here we can see, here we have used a scatter plot between total hours per session and total time, where you can see that there is an positive relationship between two variables. And coming to bar chart, we have taken on task versus off task conduct in the classroom setting, where we can see that the class on task instances are greatly outnumbered by the off tasks cases. And coming to box plot, we have used distribution of observations based on we have used distribution of observations, where we can see that it is roughly symmetrical distribution of observation counts, with a few outliers showing sessions with the higher observation count than expected. The distribution of data points and outliers reveals information about the variability of the number of observations across different sessions or classes. And coming to histogram, we have used the total time as the references, with the majority values concentrated towards the lower end of the scale, showing that the shorter periods are more common in this data set, which we can see that the curve has been decreased based on the total time, and where we can see the density for in between 0 to 500 is more. And coming to correlation heat map, we have used the classroom active data, where we can see total time is correlating with total hours per session, with active categories demonstrating a complex link between sessions and activity diversification, where we can see the perfect correlation between times, transitions, and numeric number of activities, where we can see that strong negative correlation between observations and transitions. These patterns may reflect underlying classroom dynamics and also provide various facts of classroom management with how one will coordinate with each other. And coming to model development, we have used the logistic regression, random forest, gradient boosting, support vector machines, and furthermore, where we can see that accuracy between all this is similar in between 0.63 to 0.68. And coming to interpreting models, we have used ROC curves and ROC curve and AOC score to determine which model can be used for the further analysis, where we can see that we have attached the snippets. And Jairaj will continue from modeling and results and insights.
When coming to model results and insights, initially we used Navi bias and we got the accuracy of 61% and recall 73 and F1 72. And after we using classifier variable, we saw some changes in accuracy from 61 to 67% and recall 673 to 99 and F1 72 to 80. And by looking at this graph, the AUC score of 0.58 on the REC curve indicates the classifier ability to differentiate between the classes is slightly better than the random choice. So when coming to the assigned task, this bar chart represents the average amount of the time that students spend in each session. So each bar having distinguished average duration in response to distinguished student identified by their IDs, and each student engagement time varies as seen by the graph. Some students having greater average total duration than others. So various colors represents various students, making it possible to compare the length of the specific sessions. And when coming to the second thing, the two bars represent the male and female in the bar graph, which compares the overall amount of the time spent by the gender The average time allotted to each gender is shown by the height of each bar, suggesting a comparison of the activity time of male and female students. So this picture implies that both genders having specific mean time, with one gender perhaps having somewhat higher than average. So when coming to the conclusion, in order to investigate off-task behavior in classrooms, we employed a range of data processing approaches, including data analysis, initial data cleaning, and the deployment of several machine learning models. Our results emphasize key factors impacting student participation and throw insights on the trends and causing off-task behavior. The models under examination exhibiting various degrees of power provide educators and administrators practical ways to enhance learning outcomes and student focus. To advance the research on class involvement, new modeling strategies should be investigated or more data should be included. And then when coming to the future work, in future we can expand the data sets with additional contextual data utilizing potential machine learning techniques and carry out the longitudinal studies to evaluate behavioral changes over time may be necessary to improve off-task behavior research. It also possible to develop bespoke models for specializing teaching methods. Validation and implementation the findings to enhance the educational outcomes would be made easier by expanding the study to include a range of educational and cultural contexts. Thank you.